Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know these two guys down below me here, you're living under the YouTube rock. We got Mod2Fame and we got Stangmode. And I know most of you guys that follow me follow one or both of these folks, and you've probably seen some of the America versus the World flyers out there. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to ask a few questions to both Mod2Fame and Stangmode, let them answer it, and then hopefully that will give you guys what you need to go ahead, sign up, and be there April 14th at Capitol Raceway. So let's start off. Mod2Fame, go ahead and do a quick introduction, and then I'll turn it over to Stangmode for a quick introduction, and we'll get into the questions.
Stephen Williams here, Mod2Fame, meaning modify your car to the point that everybody knows it. Typically focused on Mopar vehicles is a typical focus. I own everything though. I have Mopars, I got European cars, I've had JDM cars, I've had it all. However, it just seems like to me, man, that Mopar got the algorithm for all social medias and a chokehold. So therefore, man, I kind of lean toward that for the YouTube channel when it comes to my own personal builds on YouTube. You might know me as the twin turbo Hellcat guy. Pretty soon you're gonna know me as just the Mopar performance leader guy. But that's about it for Mod2Fame.
All right, Stangmode, go ahead.
I'm the guy who always beats Mod2Fame on the internet. So if you want to look up Stangmode versus Mod2Fame, you're gonna see him lose a lot to my Mustang. No, I'm just kidding. It's like a little jab to start, but no. I've always had an affinity for American cars, particularly Mustangs, and I do about 99.9% of my content on Mustangs and Fords. And I grab cars, I modify them, I race them, I break them, I give some away sometimes, and just excited to always have new Mustangs and make them as fast as I can. And I just like the role of the underdog the Mustang has, because Mustangs outside the Mustang community are seen as like, oh, maybe that's the dark side, and maybe that's just they hit crowds or whatnot. But I feel like once you're in a Mustang, you kind of get it. It's kind of like the Mustangs are like probably the most famous nameplate in sports cars ever. I mean, you have the car that's gonna have its 60th birthday in April. The history is just crazy, and it's the car for the common person. I mean, now they're getting kind of expensive nowadays, but you can still grab yourself a nice 5.0 and boost it, and you're hanging with cars that are triple its price. And that's what I've always appreciated about the Mustang. And just coming in with that underdog mentality is just something that I've always put myself with, because I've seen myself as an underdog, and that's just kind of like how I view it. So in terms of what I do, that's just my content is a lot of Mustang news, reviews, racing, also modifying, and like we're doing now, going to a lot of racing events and doing content on that racing. So that was a little long-winded, but that's kind of what the jam is.
It's all good. We're all car guys in the end, right? We all jab each other. We jab Ford, we jab Chevy, we jab Mopars, but we're all car guys at the end of the day.
100%.
But so here's the biggest question: why America versus the world? And I'll turn it over to both you guys. You can go back and forth or take turns, whatever you want to do. But why?
I'll let Steph take that one.
Why do America versus the world? I think I know the answer, but I'll let you guys speak on
it. So mainly because I guess it kind of starts with the hate that Stangmode touched on it, that Mustangs get, the hate that Mopars get. Mopars get it really, really bad, especially when you talk about going fast and speed. We kind of get it the worst, being the boats of the community. What I noticed is in the European world, when I say European, that includes BMW, Porsche, And then on a Japanese world, the new Supras, the old Supras and stuff like that, as well as GTRs. I noticed the praise that those cars get for setting records. And then I look at the record. And when I look at the record, I notice it's something that American cars do on a regular test and tune Friday night or Sunday during the day. And yet we receive the most hate. You know, they're jumping up and down when they're breaking into the eights. And that's pretty normal for us. It's pretty normal to have Mustangs running eights. It's pretty normal to have Hellcats in the eights and with very minimal mods. And they're new to this. This is all new to them. So them being really fast at the drag strip, for the most part, is really new to them, especially the BMW community. They just weren't present and accounted for at all. So I caught a lot of backlash when I made a specific statement on a podcast called Street Alpha Podcast, where I said BMWs are not race cars. And then, you know, latter, I went on to say that majority of GTRs are 10-second cars. The internet went crazy. They called me stupid. They called me all sorts of things. So instead of going back and forth on the internet, the difference is people like Stangmode and I really do this. We really do this. We have the resources, we have the means, and we have the ability to create something like this, which is a stage where you could show down to say, fine, you really feel that way? Then bring a car and line it up. And that's what this is. This is to say, we've been doing this. We run this right here. This is our thing. This is new to y'all. So let's put it on the stage. Since you guys are so fast, line it up on a tree. When that tree drops to the quarter mile, may the best continent of manufacturers win.
Well said, brother. Well said. You did that without poking too hard, I think.
Well, I mean, I don't need to. I don't need to necessarily, you know, I've already done that. And the thing is, when I do say things, I don't say it like F those guys. I just make statements. I make statements that are all based in facts, but people do not like facts. It's, you know, not to get too political, but, you know, people don't really like facts. They just like how they feel. And they're all in their own echo chambers and they're in their own bubbles. So I want to pop that bubble. And, you know, we see political debates and stuff like that. So that's what this is. This is a real world debate. And, you know, when we have, the good thing is we do have spectators that are available to come as well, because the majority, that's who's talking the loudest. The people who are talking the loudest are the people who actually don't have these cars.
They don't have a fast car at all.
They don't have a 9-second car. They don't have a 10-second car. They don't have an 11-second car. But yet they're arguing the conversation because of their loyalty to a brand of a car that they want or they dream about. So we want you there too. We want you there to be able to cheer on whoever you want to cheer on, whether you're Team America or whether you're Team World. We want you there too. And then sometimes we, you know, this is not the event for it. So Stangmode poked the bear just now. You know, with his introduction, I thought that was really good. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Stangmode is like, please delete that video. I don't do street racing anymore, so please take that down. Ironically, he wants me to take down the videos with him losing. But it's okay, because, you know, even America versus the world, when we eliminate all the other cars from different countries and it's only American cars left in the eliminations, then me and Stangmode can go head to head.
The reality is too, we always do friendly fire all the time. You know, it's either me racing Steph or me racing our friend Street Speed with his Corvette. But I've never lost to a foreign vehicle. I've never lost. Never lost.
Damn.
Never lost ever.
Damn.
To a
Mic dropped.
Nothing. And they have come at me, and I've been to the events, and there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. well, you got to race my friend's car. Well, they're not there. You lined up and you lost. And they're, what I find is when I do race American cars, at the end of the race, it's always good sportsmanship. Now, I'm not going to generalize, but I do know that when I have beaten a lot of cars, either it's a BMW or an Acura in a race, it's not this smiling face when we go to post-game videos. It's either I cheated because I didn't tell how much horsepower I had, or I have nitrous, or whatever the case may be. There's always an excuse why an American car wins. It's never like a clean, oh, hey, you got me. Because I know if I lose straight up, I'm like, beautiful build, great job, keep it moving. But what I find is with the international crowd, they don't like to lose. And I tell you why is because they're spending 3 times the amount of shekels us domestic people are on their vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some content coming up here, and I have some content. You don't need that much money to make 1,000 wheel horsepower in a domestic vehicle. You're going to need almost double, if not more than that, in a car that already costs 3 times as much as the vehicle that we're talking about. But they like to be washed and like brushed over. They don't want to talk about that part.
Right.
Whereas I can do 2 builds for what you did for the price of 1. And I've had these same comments in a lot of the comments on the internet, and you can talk to your blue in the face. So like Steph said, even if you don't have that car, come to the race. You're welcome to make content because I'd love to see it. And we're going to show out. And there's also friendly fire. I'll still race our friends, like our boy here has a pretty fast pro-charged Mopar himself. So, we'll have some fun. Friendly fire is always welcome, but it'll be exciting to see the best of the best from around the world with your builds, all types of motors, all types of transmissions, all types of drivers. And what I'm excited about too is I know Steph's a roll racer, but I'm a drag racer. So when it comes to drag racing, we have a lot more. I would say not that there's not information on roll racing, but when we have a time slip, we can really study the numbers and we can take a look at things as far as 60 foot's concerned, 8th mile, top end, low end, mid-range power. We can really compare and contrast. Also, it comes down to the driver as well. So there's a lot of different advantages of doing a drag race compared to a roll race, because we're going to get to really see a lot of stuff.
Right.
Because some cars will sit there at the light and get just the perfect launch, So that's okay, but you can't say someone jumped. You
Right.
can't say someone went on 2. The light doesn't lie, and we're at a place where it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited because, and I say that humbly. I'm not trying to talk trash. I never lost to a car that wasn't domestic, but I just haven't seen those vehicles. I've seen them online,
Right.
but I haven't seen them, one-on-one. And when I have had a chance to try to call out some of them, there's always I'm not ready right now. I got this, that, and the third. My tune's not good. So let's have an opportunity here, April 14th. And let's have some fun. And hey, listen, if you win, you get the bragging rights until the next one in October. But for now, we're gonna line up what we got and race what you brung, and let's have a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, this is also just about having a great time, because unfortunately, it's harder and harder to race our cars. Tracks are closing locally.
Yeah.
My track next to me, ACO, closed, so that was unfortunate. So we do have to travel to race legally and have fun. So this is what we're doing, and our community is going to travel, and we travel well. And I think it's just going to be a good time. And of course, what's also good is Mother Nature does happen. We have a rain date as well from April 14th to move to also the next week, April 21st. So we're good if Mother Nature decides to change her mind. But that's going to be the perfect boost weather. April is when we should be.
It's pretty good.
This is it. No, I'm saying this is it. We provided everything.
Yeah.
All of the odds are in your favor.
So you got 2.5 months to get ready. No excuses. Don't bring excuses.
No excuses. Absolutely.
And by the way, that will be my drag racing debut on my turbo car. My turbo stick-shift car, that is going to be its drag racing debut. I never drag raced that car. The attempts I made didn't really matter. I was just messing around, but this is going to be official. I will officially be making my drag race debut with a stick shift rear-wheel drive car, heavy car.
Gotcha.
You had the dog box transmission still in it?
I do. So
Okay.
it's a faceplated gear set or dog box, whatever you want to call it. But yes, that transmission is still in it. Still requires a clutch and all that good stuff though. And it's still H pattern. It's not sequential.
Okay. I'm
So-
excited. What do you we'll wait and see what it does, right? Are you gonna test it
Yeah,
beforehand?
I have some goals.
Okay.
This year I'm going to take the record. So I already have the record as the world's fastest stick shift Hellcat, 60 to 130, 100 to 150 on Draggy. You go on draggymotorsport.com right now, you check the leaderboard. There's no stick shift Hellcat that's ever been faster. So I already have that. For a while, I had the record, period, on the street, stick shift, automatic, no matter what the car was, because I did this so far back, right? Then I went to Race Motive and I set the records for what Mopar vehicles did at Pocono. Those records stood for a while, about a year and a half. Those records stood, and as the automatic cars got faster and faster, and they started going turbo, those records began to fall. This year, I'm going to set the quarter mile record for a 6-speed Hellcat vehicle in the quarter mile. So a lot of times people don't respect my records because they weren't done at a drag strip. So now I'm going to hold every record that it possibly could be for a manual Hellcat so that no one can't take anything away from me. I could be like, yep, got that too. Yep, got that too. And if you want to know about it, line.
Yeah, I also hold the record for one of the first 2020 GT500s that blew its motor. So, you know, pretty excited about that. And I
Well,
think
to be
people
honest
know.
with you, there's not a ton. There are a ton of manual Hellcats because from 2015 to
Yeah.
2017 they sold a lot of them. So there are a ton of them, and there are a ton of them that are modified, but they're harder to make go fast. So when it comes to going after the really big numbers, a lot of them give up. But then you got people like me that see it through.
Yeah, and and this is the stage, like you said, to showcase what you can do and what your team has put together with your shop and your tuner and your build and your vision. So it's not just about
100%.
bragging rights, but also you get a chance on a big stage to showcase your build, and that in and of itself is pretty cool because a lot of times we go to a test and tune or a rental and there's a handful of people and we're just excited and that's it ends there, right?
Yep.
But in this instance, one of the most fun things about the car community, especially the modification community, is we just want to share our builds and we're just proud of them and how they perform. So whether it's an American car or, like we said, the world car, let's really, we love looking at the Instagram videos of the cool videos and the effects and all that stuff. Let's really see them move. Let's see them run. Let's see how they sound. Let's see them go down the track. Let's go get some pictures. We're gonna have a great space. Even if you're not racing, you can bring your car and have like a VIP parking spot so people can come and just look at your great build, because it doesn't matter if you can still come if you can't race. You have a nice car. We want to keep it open. A lot of people say, "Oh, my car is not ready yet," but you're still driving or whatnot, waiting for a boost. Please come still. We'd love to see your build. We'd love to have it on our content. Share it that you came, and we don't discriminate as far as any build, as long as it's fast. It's going to be appreciated. But
I think that's a great segue, Stangmode, for you to go into the classes, because the people are going to mean what is fast. So if you can go over what the classes are to qualify to compete in eliminations.
I will defer to you because I don't have that in front of me. I don't. I apologize, but I don't have the. I think you made it up, and I didn't. I just co-signed it, but I did not. I can't speak perfectly.
Oh, it's about the event. Yeah, talk to Steph.
Sorry about that.
I'm just here to bring the Mustang guys and slaughter everybody.
You know what though? The reality is too, and I was saying that we have a lot of not that we don't have a big presence of American cars on, but there are a lot of cars that are coming. Porsches I've already signed up, GTRs, BMWs, like the
And
international.
when I say fast ones, like literally one of the BMWs that signed up was the world record holding G80 at an 850 something. And somebody just broke that last week at an 84.
If you're wondering, if you're watching this, what an 8-second car feels like, I would recommend if you're close to a Six Flags or a roller coaster, I personally go to King Dakar, and just that same feeling of just you're taking off
G4.
is just exactly what it feels like. It's pretty crazy. And it is a few seconds of a rush, but my goodness, man. And when everything works in concert, of all the parts you got and all the stuff you did, and you hit your boy up or you text your friend like, yo, I just did this crazy pull and the car is flying. Now this is a chance where we all can see that. Let's all see it. And I think this would be just a really fun venue for people to just see what you've done. And again, I don't know if Steph, do you have the
Yeah, the
available?
elimination classes are going to be as follows. It is going to start at anything from 10 to an 11-second pass. So I guess it will be, from 10 to 1099. Sorry, it's actually, let me pull it up. To your point, let me pull it up, just to be fair. Am I still playing? You guys can still see me?
We can hear you,
Yeah,
but your video's frozen.
My video's frozen. All right, I'll be right back. Don't worry, I'm coming right back. Just hold that thought right there.
Yeah, while Steph grabs that, I think one of the things that does well about the class is that we're just not doing cars. This is also available to trucks and SUVs. I mean, the way these F1 boosted F-150s and Hellcat Durangos and Trackhawks and
crazy. Oh my God, you just made a super valid point, Stang.
Go ahead.
You made a super valid point when you said that. I just now told you that the world record holding BMW G80, which is their fastest thing since sliced bread, ran an 8.4.
Oh my.
You know what else ran an 8.4?
Trackhawk?
Rip-a-Tunes 3-row SUV Durango.
Yes.
That's also what's running at 8.4. So that just puts things into perspective of how fast American cars are and have been at a drag strip.
And you got a couple 8-second Durangos and Hellcat or
forget 8-second. Like literally, your world's fastest ever produced is running the same thing as a 5,400-pound 3-row SUV.
You can go to Disney and run 8s at the same time. And let's also just make sure we reiterate, it's not just Mustangs and Hellcats and GTRs. Oh my! It is bring the trucks, bring the boosted F-150s,
bring them,
bring the Trackhawks, the Hellcat Durangos. I mean, the Uruses, whatever you got. Hey, we don't discriminate. We all saw what's going on with the Cybertruck, the Cyber Beast or whatever. Bring it on down. The Rivians are pretty fast. TRXs are crazy. Raptors, because that's part of the setup. I know many personal friends who have fast trucks where the boosted F-150 single cab community is actually caught up a little bit to the Mustang aftermarket because you still got a 5.0 speed. It's the same kind of core, just like the Hellcat Durango. Yeah, and it's a single cab. And guess what you got? You kind of got your all-wheel drive Mustang, right? So, you're not as worried about as prep. You just send it and forget it. And these guys are reliving like the Lightning days, way faster, obviously. And those cars are moving out, and it's become more the preferred street racing application vehicle for Ford guys. It has been the boosted F-150 because you're not spinning as much as the Mustang. You're planting and going. It's making sure everything's happy. So definitely we need the truck guys out there. I know, my friend and yours, Blue 750, is getting his car together. We have even the 4-door Rams, like Incredible Hemi has a nice
Mm-hmm.
one. So just to name a few, there's a bunch of gentlemen out there who I think will really add a lot, because it's really cool to see a truck versus a car that are both going eights. I mean, that's pretty cool. And this is the place where you can do that. And our job too, and I want to make sure everyone knows, is obviously me and Steph are content creators first, but we want to make sure that if you're attending the race as a racer and a spectator, you are given the ample customer service support you need. We will be racing, but we'll make sure everyone has their chance, that everyone's signed up, everyone is, accounted for and is happy with their experience, because the people that are coming there to supporting this event are paramount. And we want to make
Yeah.
sure that I'm just not putting the camera in your face, getting my content, and I'm like putting the piece on, like, see y'all later, catch it on YouTube.
Right.
No. Steph made it very clear, abundantly clear. This is why I defer to Steph, because he's been doing events for a long time, not just building fast cars and setting records, as he stated, but he's hosted and catered many racing events, which I've been to, that have been just, in my opinion, just spot on, flawless. I got to enjoy my experience, make content, make some new friends, and he's always been, the head of a lot of that stuff. He has a great team, so I'm just thankful he, partnered with me on this, so we can do this together and bring our communities and the racing community as a whole to do this. But our goal is to make sure you guys don't just feel like you're just a ticket that just shows up and goes. We'd
No.
love to,
No.
take a look at your build. We're going to have people helping us record, because we need the content, obviously, but you're not just a ticket. You're a part of this. This is our inaugural initial race, which is going to be just so fun. I mean, I can just tell you there's going to be thousands of reels made on some of these races.
Yes, it
Of
is.
what,
Yeah.
what you're going to
Oh
see.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
It's going to be a viral event, because typically what happens is BMWs go to BMW events, Dodges go to Dodge events, Mustangs go to Mustang events, or the Test and Tunes is always full of the
Paul,
lanes
sorry.
of American cars and old hot rods. So very rarely do we have these opportunities where we all got to face off against each other. So
Yep.
speaking of the classes with that, starting with the 11.0 to the 11.0 to the 11.99 class, you are going to have 2 qualifying runs. We're trying to get to 3, but as of right now, you'll definitely get 2 qualifying runs to set whatever your class that you're going to be in. You're going to want to run as deep into the 11s as you possibly can, so that you can make the final 8. We're breaking it down into 8, so there'll be 8 slots in the 11 to 11.99 class. Then the next class up from that is our 10 to 10.99 class. Same thing applies. There's going to be 8. You'll have 2 qualifying runs to get down into that 10-second range as deep as you can, to see if you can qualify to run in the eliminations. And then we're going to have the 9. We split it. If you notice, there's 11 to 11.99 and 10 to 10.99. Then there's a 9.5 to a 9.99. Why did we do that? The reason for that is, if you've ever built a car, you know how hard it is to go from a 9.9 to a 9.0.
Mhm.
They are 2
For
different builds.
sure.
2 completely different builds, and they do not compete with one another. So I didn't think it would be fair to have guys who are very fast, running 9.7s and 9.6s, who can't qualify because of the guys who are running 9.0s, 9.1s, and 9.2s. Those 2 cars don't compete. So therefore, we split it. There's a 9.5 to 9.9 class. That makes sense, right? Don and Stang, you guys are drag racers. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
100%. 100%.
And then you have the 9.0 to 9.49 class, right? So these classes have the same rules that apply. You're going to get 2 to 3 qualifying runs, and you can dial it in, try to get as low as you possibly can, so that you can make the eliminations. And then after that, we have the 8.5 to 8.99 class. where the same thing applies. And then we have the unlimited. Now, is that fair? My thought process is we cater to street cars. So street cars, the thick of the fastest street cars are low 8-second cars. Very few of them can touch a 7. So more than likely, what's going to end up happening is a car might run a 7, right? A car might run a 6, but I don't know if it can do it 3 elimination passes in a row. You know what I mean? So it's very possible that even if a car does get in with a 7.5 pass, and now he's running up against a guy that runs 8.2, it's very possible that he might not be able to do it back to back to back. So it's very possible that doesn't mean that that car is going to win, because there's a couple of cars that maybe got in there. Remember, it's 8 spots. So if we're catering to majority street cars. Stangmode, can you describe what you perceive to be a street car that we're catering to?
Yeah, street car is probably not going to be trailered in. Obviously, if you have to go a distance, that's the case. But a street car is something you probably drive not just once every 3 months or so for a racing event, but you literally take it out on a nice day. You go to Cars and Coffee, you go to car events, you go to hang out with your friends. You can have another passenger in the vehicle with you.
But the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask you, Steph, are we going to have opportunities for grudge matches? Because I think some people ask me about that. Like they want to do like, hey, I wanted to line up my red eye versus this, M5, competition. What's up? Are we going to allow that, or how are we working that in?
So the schedule goes as follows, right? So the opening part of the day, right? Tech opens 10 a.m. 11 a.m. we start qualifying. We expect to start final qualifying at 2 p.m. And then we expect to start eliminations at 4 p.m. So what does that mean? That means from 11 to 4, you can race whoever you want to race. We are just keeping track of where you qualify. And you're going to be placed in a bracket. So yes, do your grudge racing from 11 to 4. Soon as the lanes open up, I want you. You know what I mean? You want me, and whatever. Now, obviously, for those who are there to try to win a class, you may want to try your best to not focus on racing, because again, you're trying to set a time. And one of your passes, you may want to try to like let the other guy go. You could just focus on setting your number. But if grudge racing is what you're there to do, 11 to 4, go for it, kid. Kill it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that allows both styles of competition. Because if there are a couple YouTubers who want to race each other, or just people or just friends want to race each other, you're welcome to. But if you're there to set a time and win the class, and you can just make sure everything is all the T's are dotted across, and then you can go ahead.
So I want to go back to something you said a little while ago, Stangmode, and Steph, you kind of hit on it just a little bit. Now, this is all about who crosses the line first. It doesn't necessarily matter about your ET. I could run a 10.2, you run a 10.1. If I cross the line first and I got cut a better light, you still lost, buddy. Yeah, you got a faster car, but you lost the race. So I just want to make sure that's clear to everybody, so they don't come in and say, well, you ran a 10.2, I ran a 10.1, I won the race. That's not the way drag racing works.
Correct.
Or what you can't say is later on, oh, but the European cars ran a faster time. We never lined up. You and your buddy with the European car kept racing each other.
Right.
And you picked some random American car to look at his times and be like, well, I was faster than him that day. No. This is not that. This is not social media racing. This is not, time slip racing. No. This is pull up to the line and race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what happens is, and I think that's a great clarifying aspect, is that we want to make sure that people aren't cherry picking, and then saying, oh, my 9-second Mustang just beat a a 10-second, and just to make it fair, a 10-second like stock red eye is like, no, you got to make sure that we kind of keep the integrity of the process to be fair. So, and what we'll do is we'll have everything set up to where people know what people's classes are and everything, so there's no confusion. But yeah, I think the biggest confusion for non-drag racers are ET and ET compared to who crossed the line first, reaction time. So for example, like you said, I might have a slower car, but I'm a better driver. What does that even mean? Like that just
Right.
means I cut a better light. That just means I cut a better light. Maybe I cut a 0.1, you cut a 0.3. And if you're a stick shift driver, that's even more impressive. But that's where you line up the cars, and that's what keeps the competition fair. I'll give you an example, unpack that further, right? So I got an opportunity by Ford to go down to Daytona Rolex 24-hour racing, and Mustang debuted their GT3 race car, which is basically a dark horse that's just gutted, right? It's a 5.0. But it's a crazy, it's aero, it's lightweight, it's all types of suspension, the best of the best. To make the rules fair, the Mustang was making too much horsepower compared to the other competitors, even the Porsche. So they had to put restrictors on it to lessen the horsepower because it was making too much horsepower. The reason they do this, and I was like, Ford, aren't you guys mad at we're getting a handicap? The reason they do that is because the Mustang may be making more horsepower, but it's heavier than some of the Porsches. So to offset the power weight, they try to make it as fair as possible with the rules, right? So in that same vein, it's not that just because you have a faster car, you want to make sure the integrity of the rules are there, so everyone is in the same. That's why we have the classes are in the same ballpark. So you're not just over there waxing somebody who's not even there, and they get discouraged or something like that, and whatnot. So we keep the integrity of the people that have the builds that are closest, and then you have more competitive racing, because we all know it's not fair. It's not even a good video when someone just get whooped. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
it's not. We hate those
it's not.
videos.
Oh my gosh!
We hate those videos.
I need door-to-door action. I need,
Which is why I had to give that. Which is why I had to give that M4 a head start, so they could at least look like a race.
Yeah, I mean,
I would rather lose a close race than win by 2 seconds.
It doesn't feel the same when you blow somebody out. It's like, oh, that was okay, cool. But when you win by that, not to bring Mod2Fame up, but I think
that's a good point. That's a great point.
No, we've had some races where I think they're pretty entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
He got me in the beginning, then I got him mid-range, and he was creeping up on me, and thank God the finish line came up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, whew, get that win, because those twin turbos were spooling where I ran out of boost. But that's part of the race, and that's what the adrenaline rush is too. I mean, when you're door to door.
I mean, remember that red eye race thing where
my gosh,
I red lit a little bit. I red lit like a little bit.
Fraction of a second.
0 something. And you cut a really good light. So you were right there. And I'm in the car screaming as you coming around me. I was like, nah.
But that's the stuff that is just so fun.
Viral.
Yeah. That's the stuff that's what makes it so exciting, because even if you lose, that it's like, hey, it was really it wasn't my day, but man, that was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
But when you get mollywopped, it's like, I'm gonna put this on Facebook Marketplace and just get some feelers out there, because I think it's time to sell it. And you know what? Like, again, we're gonna use this is something that we hope to make consistent. So again, your suggestions are appreciated when you check out on the website. Please make sure you leave your social media, your Instagram.
Yes.
Even if so we know who you are, we can help thank you and promote your build, and showcase that you're coming to your community. Feel free to leave anything in the comments, even suggestions like, hey, can we do roll racing next event, or can we have this kind of class, or can we do this? We'd love to hear it, because that's going to make it better for us going forward. Because again, we are really thankful also to some of our sponsors already that have signed up. we talked about it before, but Race Motive is like our big sponsor of us. Me and Steph have always appreciated their Pocono roll racing. They let us just go and make awesome content for you guys. And they're supporting this race too, which is really just an awesome thing they're doing for us, because they're so seasoned and so well versed in the game, and to give us racers an opportunity to give us support, show us the ropes is just great.
Amazing.
I know I really appreciate them. We have some really fantastic sponsors, of course, Race Motive. We also have Petrolworks Mo, who has that crazy super that's all over the internet, that always stick shift super. That he's going to be there. Of course,
shout to Lee C Parts, baby.
Yes. My guy blew up on the internet, man. He started getting those wrecked cars and building them back up, and he's going to be supporting us. And of course, we got to talk about Ripatoon's going to be there. Like, you know, I'm a Mustang
100%.
guy. I know all about Ripatoon because they just killed the game with Mopars, and they're with the most famous Mopar racer, Mod2Fame. So you know, we're excited about that tag team, and there's more coming. We have more sponsors coming, and we're just excited for the people that are supporting. And it's just going to be a great time. And remember, kids are free, so under 12 years old, you're welcome to come. There'll be food at the track. You guys can enjoy. We'll be looking forward to meeting you guys as well. There'll be time to just take pictures, hang out, look at your builds. We'll have merchandise there for you guys to grab. So it's just going to be more or less, it's going to be like a fun party. It's just going to be a party that we're going to have fun with. Of course, we'll have prep. We'll also have, we have to, because the drag strip, we'll have all that goes with the drag racing, the cleanup, the EMT, all the stuff, you know. It's going to be great. Yeah, everything is safe, and you know, you gotta go through tech. Now let me just get this little disclaimer. It's important, not disclaimer, but it's FYI, PSA, with housekeeping, whatever word you want to say. Safety first. Make sure that your equipment is safe. You have a snell rated helmet. You have the pants that are required. You can't be racing in a wife beater and some you know, Crocs.
Or shorts.
No shorts. And this is not that I'm being a buzzkill. This is so for your safety and the safety of the track. And make sure that you just have, you know, safety first. Have your helmet, have your pants, and when
fire jacket. If you run, if you running a 10-second or below, fire jacket, please.
And remember, you're not going to win $1 million, so get out of it if you start losing it. You know, we'll be there to support you. And if your car malfunctions, just get off the track safely, and we'll live to fight another day. There's no reason to get out of it, get back into it. And we rather see you safe rather than sorry. And I have broke on the track many times, and it's okay to be towed off. No one's gonna, you know, look down on you. We're just be happy that we can keep racing. So you have to go through tech inspection. You have to make sure that everything's in ship shape and everything passes. And then you guess what? You're ready to go, ready to have fun, and that's our main goal.
And make sure you go to Capital's website. So they've got some rules of their own, specific rules on what you can bring, what you can't bring, as far as, I don't want to throw this out there too much, as far as weapons and knives and things like that. There's specific rules Capital has on what you can have, what you can't have. And then there's other rules in there too. So make sure you go to Capital, look at the rules to get entry into the drag strip.
They made those rules up mostly for Chevy guys. So, you know, hopefully your Chevy guys can abide that. But we do have the links on our site from the frequently asked questions, also places to stay if you want to come a night before. It's on a Sunday. So hopefully that gives you enough time accordingly to get your vehicle over there or to trailer it, sleep over. We are all available if you have any questions. But the website does have a lot of information about where to go, where to stay, frequently asked questions about the track as well. And, you know, we're happy to answer any questions you have and make this, you know, hopefully a really awesome event.
So one last question, back to drag racing. So what light are we going to go with? Are we going to go with the Sportsman tree, which is, you know, yellow, 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 green? Are we doing Pro Tree, which is just yellow, green? Are we going to do a flashlight?
We'll do Sportsman's because
we don't want the European guys to cry.
There's going to be a lot. There's 100. I didn't want to say it like that, but he's right.
We don't want them crying.
With
so
a
we're
Pro
gonna give
Tree,
them every opportunity.
with a pro tree, you're gonna only get seasoned drag racers who are kind of comfortable in that way.
Yeah, pro tree's rough.
And then there're gonna be a lot of red lights and a lot of fighting, but with the sportsman's tree, the countdown is a little bit more, and you can get comfortable. Like Steph said, you have ample time to keep racing and get some practice runs into to make sure everything is situated.
It's a little driver
sportsman's
friendly.
tree, sportsman's tree is probably our best bet, especially because people can get down. But that's not saying it's not that a pro tree won't be out of the question in the future. But for this inaugural event, we're going to do sportsman.
Awesome. So Steph, Stangmode, unless you guys have anything else.
No, we just want to thank you for this opportunity, Modern Red Hemi. We appreciate you, brother. We look forward to seeing you wipe the floor with that baby small little Hemi engine you got. You are the least of these.
I'm the baby,
and you're gonna be wiping them up. So can't wait.
And make sure you tell your community too, bro. That it's not just not everybody needs to go there that has 1,200 wheel horsepower.
No, we have an 11.
Enough
you can
room
run
for
an
everybody.
1199 and qualify potentially for a class. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. So
absolutely.
really appreciate the opportunity, and it was definitely a good time. And I hope that we obviously see you and your community out there, and look forward to 4/14/24, baby. America versus the world.
Steph, Stangmode, appreciate y'all accepting the call, accepting to put this together, and you'll see it on all three of our channels. Hopefully, you'll probably see Steph and Stangmode cutting it up, doing some shorts and some other things, and putting it out on Instagram and Facebook and all over the place. Yep. So it's all about getting the word out at this point, folks. So, like Stangmode said, April 14th, get your car ready. Come on out and let's run down the drag strip.
And real quick, that website is just so you know, it's On3 Supply. That's a play on Go On 3.
Say it one more time.
It's on3supply.com. So it's a play on going on 3, like Go On 3. It's on3supply.com, and there's a link there to get your tickets and register to race.
All right, that's it for this one, folks. We'll see you April 14th.
Let's go.